came across her channel, and I was like, I want to collab with this girl. I loved how authentic she was. I loved how she was just completely being herself, and she wasn't afraid to tell her story, and she wasn't afraid to share such sensitive parts of her life with us. And I found that really, really inspiring, and I was like, I am gonna collab with her. She's kind of gonna take over today and share her story, and I hope that it'll inspire you guys. I know it inspired me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Catherine, thank you so much. You are such a great person, and thank you for being on my channel, and I hope you guys enjoy this. Say hi to Catherine for me.
Hello internet, my name's Catherine, and thank you so much to Amanda for having me on your channel. I am so excited to be doing this collab with you. You're so sweet. I love your videos so much. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about depression and anxiety. I have both depression and anxiety, and it's something that I like to talk about on my channel and work towards breaking the stigma and things like that against mental illness. I became depressed when I was 9 years old, when my parents got divorced, and I started seeing a therapist, and then even after my parents' divorce was settled, I felt like I was in a pretty good place, everything was good, there was nothing that really was wrong that would have made me depressed. I still was depressed. I had clinical depression. I was diagnosed with clinical depression when I was around 12 or 13, and I'm 18 now, and I've been on medication for I think about 3 years now. And I first started off on Prozac, which did not work well for me. It just didn't work well with my system, with my brain chemistry. That just did not work well for me. And then I tried Zoloft, which I've been on ever since, and that works really well for me. It also is an anti-anxiety medication, which is why I think it works really well for me, because it also helps to combat my anxiety. And that has helped me so much with my depression. And it's just ongoing battle every single day. Not every day is easy, but you just have to keep pushing through, really, is what I've learned. Because when I was really, really depressed, I just felt hopeless, and I had no motivation. I didn't want to do anything. I just cried all the time. I actually experienced some suicidal thoughts. It was a really, really bad time in my life. My family and I call them the dark ages. It was just not good at all. And there are times when I still get waves of depression where I just feel really unmotivated and I just don't want to do anything and I can't get out of my own head, and it sucks. It really does. It's the worst. But, you know, having my friends and my family, and I still see a therapist, and taking my medication, and reminding myself every day that I don't have to be perfect, that I just have to, you know, get through the day, and that there is, you know, a positive silver lining to everything. I've become such a positive person now that I'm depressed, which I think is really weird, but really cool also, is I'm constantly looking for the positive side in things. I refuse to let myself focus on the negatives, because I focused on the negatives so much in my past that I refuse to let myself get swallowed up by that again. Yeah, that's about my depression. Anxiety was something that I think I noticed when I was around 12 or 13 also, but it wasn't something where it was that bad then that they thought I needed a separate medication for it, and I don't think I need it now. I think my Zoloft works really well to combat the two of them. But when I get anxiety, I feel physically different. Like my body, I get sweaty and my heart starts racing and I feel flush, and I just, like, it's almost like immobilizing. Like I can't move, I can't do anything, and I just feel stuck. And the worst part is when I get anxious, a lot of the times I know what the source of my anxiety is, and I can tell myself, no, Catherine, there's no reason to actually be anxious about that. It's all gonna be okay. Everything is fine, and I'll rationalize it. And I know in my brain that everything's okay, and there's no reason for me to be anxious, but I'm still anxious anyway. That's just how it is for me. I just get anxious and I can't get not anxious. But I have a couple different breathing exercises that I do. I try to remind myself that I'm here and in this moment, that everything is okay. Take a few deep breaths. I'll get out of my bed, because sometimes I'll want to just crawl in bed, but I find that if I get out of bed and actually do something, I feel way better. So I do that, and that has just helped with my anxiety so much. I still struggle with it. I have a few videos on my channel about my depression and my anxiety. There's no cure for it, there's just treatment, and you can get better every single day, but it's never fully gone. It's just learning to work with what you have and make the most and the best out of life that you are given. Some of the biggest challenges that I had to overcome was a lot of it with the no motivation, because I just didn't want to do anything and I would just stay in my bed all day. And if you just stay in your bed all day and do nothing, you're just going to continue to be in that state. You're not going to get any better. So I would have to push myself to like get out of bed, do the things that I actually like to do because I wouldn't do them, and stuff like that. My parents' divorce was really, really rough on me. And I was only 9 when my parents got divorced, and then my mom moved across the country and she was 3,000 miles away from me, which when you're 9 and like about to start going through puberty and all that stuff, like it's not fun, it's not the best. So I just got really in my head. A lot of my brothers were off at school, so it was kind of just me. My dad worked a lot, so I was alone a lot. And being alone is not good when you're depressed. You should like never be alone. Because I just listened to my own thoughts, and it's like, it's a little like devil on your shoulder, like whispering like, yeah, you suck, life sucks. But it doesn't, it really doesn't. You just have to like push through and just keep going, and remember that there's good out there in the world. For anxiety, I haven't really had like a biggest challenge so much as like every little anxiety attack is its own little challenge that you have to like fight through. It's like running a marathon, and each point you're like reaching the checkpoint after an anxiety attack. But it's like there's so many checkpoints and you're like, oh my god, I just want to be done. Like that's kind of how that feels. And then for anybody who is going through depression and anxiety, my biggest advice to you is to reach out to your parents or an adult that you trust. Even if you are an adult, even if you're like 25, whatever, reach out to somebody that you trust about it. Talk about possible solutions. Talk about maybe therapy, maybe just going to your pediatrician or your doctor and getting evaluated to see if you have depression and anxiety, because sometimes it's depression, sometimes it's anxiety, sometimes it's bipolar disorder, and you don't want to be treating something that's not actually what you have. So reach out to an adult, possibly see a doctor, and then work towards solutions. If your parents or the adult that you rely on isn't really listening to you and it's like, no, you're crazy, no, you're fine, really try to explain to them that this isn't just, you know, a phase. This isn't just I'm sad sometimes or I get scared sometimes. Like really try to explain it to them in your own words what that means. And if you have trouble communicating, maybe write a letter. That's what I'll do, because that way they can't interrupt you. They're just reading it. And then seek help, and maybe that'll be therapy or medication or meditation or, you know, a change in your diet, whatever it is that works for you. And the first thing that you try might not work for you, so continue to just try again and again and again, and eventually you will find something that you really like that makes you feel good. And just keep going and hold on and stay strong, because I know how bad it can be, but I also know how great life can be when you get past that, because you truthfully have so much left and so much more to live for. You know, I had to make a list of the things that were important to me for reasons to stay alive. And if you have to do that, do it. And like I put like mac and cheese on that list. Okay, like anything that I liked, anything that makes you happy at all, no matter how like insignificant it might seem, put it on there. If that's what helps you, that's what helps you. So if you're struggling with those things, that is what I recommend. But just try and just work towards it, and I promise you it will get better. If you're struggling, I'm so sorry, because I know that it stinks. But in life, I like to think that there are peaks and valleys. There are good times and there are bad times. And if you can make your way through the valley and back up to the peak, it'll be way worth it. So keep your head held high. Do not give up. Hold on with everything that you have left in you, because you have been given this gift of life. How shameful and horrible would it be to just waste it? So grab it by the horns. Do everything you want to do with your life. Work through that depression, work through that anxiety, and find a solution that works for you. It's not the solution that works for me, or works for her, or works for him, or works for whoever. Find what works for you and what makes you feel good, and stick with it. I promise you that it gets better. I hope you guys have a great day. I don't know how to close out a video that's not my video, but I hope this was helpful, and thank you so much again, Amanda, for having me on your channel. Bye.
And I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for new videos every week. And yeah, subscribe to Catherine. Her links will be in the description, and follow her social medias. I will put that too. She's amazing. And yeah, hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.